The movie takes place in a world where all the ice on Earth has melted, and the water has covered every piece of land. Every country, every city, every mountain, all of it is gone, swallowed by the sea. People have had to change the way they live completely, and that new way of living is on the water. They float in small towns called atolls, eating fish and swapping goods with each other to get by. Plants, dirt, and soil are worth more than anything else in the world, and because clean water is almost impossible to find, people collect their own body waste, clean it up, and drink it just to stay alive. Even though there is nothing but sea in every direction, a lot of people still hold on to the idea that real dry land is still out there somewhere. Different groups have gone off searching for it, hoping to find a better life. But nobody has ever come back with good news. We meet Mariner, a quiet man who lives completely on his own, on a small boat he put together from bits of old junk. We first see him collecting his own waste, running it through a small cleaning device, and turning it into water he can drink. On his boat he keeps a small lime tree growing in a pot, one of the only plants left in a world with no land. He gets by on his own by fishing and picking up anything useful he finds drifting in the water. One afternoon, after going for a dive, he spots another boat heading his way. The man on board tells Mariner about a nearby atoll where he got some things and offers to do a trade. But when Mariner sees that the man is not asking for anything back, it does not feel right. He checks his boat and finds his limes are gone. Someone took them. Before he can act on it, a gang of dangerous people called smokers flies in on jet skis and attacks them both. Mariner's boat is made of junk, but it moves fast. He gets away. The other man does not. Mariner makes his way to the atoll, a large town floating on the water behind tall metal walls. He gets through the gate by saying he is there to trade. Once inside, he takes out a small jar of real dirt, something almost no one alive has ever laid eyes on. The people there offer him 124 chits for it. He uses those chits to buy a small tomato plant and a few other bits from a woman selling things at the market. On his way back to his boat, a family comes up to him and asks him to give them a child with their daughter. He says no. This makes them worried, and they go and spread the word. A group of people surrounds him, grabs him, and pulls his hair back. Behind his ears they find breathing slits. They check his feet and see the skin between his toes is joined together. Mariner is not fully human. He is something different. He tries to fight them off, but they throw a net over him and throw him in a cage. That night, a woman named Helen sits down with an old man named Gregor. She asks him when they are going to leave and start looking for dry land. Gregor tells her the path to dry land is written as a tattoo on a little girl named Enola, but he has not been able to figure out what it means. He thinks Mariner might know, since he is clearly not like anyone else. Gregor walks over to Mariner's cage and asks about his body. Mariner does not even look at him, but the second Gregor holds up a picture of Enola's tattoo, Mariner's whole face changes. He says he will tell them what he knows, but only if they set him free first. Gregor says that is not his call to make. The next morning, the people of the atoll decide Mariner has to die. Their plan is to sink his cage into a pit of dirty water. But right at that moment, a large group of smokers under the command of their mean and nasty leader Deacon storms the atoll. The smokers want dry land too, and they know Enola is the key to finding it. They circle the atoll and start shooting, cutting people down. Then they smash through the walls using jet skis and ramps. In all the noise and confusion, Gregor fills a hot air balloon with air to try to get out, but he drifts off without meaning to, leaving Helen and Enola behind with no way out. Meanwhile, Mariner is still locked up as his cage bends and squeezes in around him. Helen sees him and runs over. She tells him she will let him out, but he has to take her and Enola with him. He agrees. Getting out is not easy. The gate will not move. Mariner grabs the ropes from his boat, swings himself up, kicks the gate open, and drops back down. Helen and Enola jump in, and they shoot away from the atoll as fast as the boat will go. Back with the smokers. One of them fires a gun all over the place and hits Deacon's own boat by mistake, setting it on fire. But Deacon throws himself into the water at the last second and lives. After the fight, the smokers carry on hunting for Enola. They pull in one of the people from the atoll and make him talk. He tells them everything. Then they kill him anyway. As Mariner's boat gets further away, Helen asks him if he really knows the way to dry land. He says yes, but then he tells her to throw Enola off the side, because there is not enough food or water for 3 people. Helen refuses and begs him to spare the girl, saying he can have her instead if he keeps Enola alive. Mariner still says no. Not long after, Mariner finds Enola drawing all over the side of his boat. He loses his temper. He picks her up and drops her into the sea. Helen is terrified. Enola does not know how to swim, and she dives in after her. Mariner looks like he is going to leave them there, but then he comes back around and pulls them both out. The second they are back on the boat, a plane full of smokers shows up and starts firing. Mariner heads below to get his weapon, but Helen runs to the big spear gun on the deck and fires it on her own, without asking. The spear goes straight into the plane and a long metal cable links the plane to the boat. The plane starts going around and around them, pulling the cable tight around the boat like a spider web. Mariner hacks through it and gets them free. The smokers cut their end and take off. Mariner falls into the water, shaking with anger over what Helen did to his boat. To make a point, he cuts off her hair and Enola's hair. Somewhere on the water, Deacon figures out roughly which way they went and sends people after them. As they keep moving, they come across a man drifting alone on the water. He says he has papers worth trading and offers to swap them for Helen. Helen says no way, but Mariner takes the deal. The man takes Helen to his boat, while Mariner goes through the papers, and straight away sees they are worth nothing. He goes back, calls off the deal, and takes Helen back. The man pulls out a knife in a rage. They fight. Mariner wins. A little later, Mariner shows them how he gets food. He gets in the water himself, and uses his own body to bring in a huge and terrifying fish that has changed over the years into something much bigger and nastier. When it gets close, he kills it, and brings it back to cook up for all three of them. Something begins to shift in Mariner around this time. He was cold and hard to be around at first, but now he starts to open up little by little. He talks to Enola. He gives her his colored pencils to draw with. He teaches her how to swim. Helen watches them get closer, and a strange feeling passes over her face. After a while, they come across what looks like a small trading spot with people waving them in. But something does not sit right with Mariner. He goes under the boat and looks around, and finds smokers hiding in the water right underneath them, waiting to strike. He spins the boat around and goes the other way fast. The smokers come after them, but Mariner lets out extra sails that spread open like huge wings, and they shoot ahead before the smokers can keep up. They get away clean. Once things are calm, Mariner pushes Helen to tell him the truth about Enola's tattoo. She gives in. The tattoo is a real map to dry land. Mariner tells her flat out that dry land is just something people made up to feel better. Helen will not hear it. Mariner says he will show her with her own eyes. He puts Helen inside a big sealed ball, takes her under the water with him, breathing through his slits the whole time. He pulls her all the way down to the bottom of the sea. And there, sitting in the dark, is a whole city. Old buildings, old roads, everything that used to exist, now just sitting still under the water. Helen stares at it and cannot speak. While they are down there, Enola is alone on the boat. She sees something moving in the water and tucks herself away. But when Mariner and Helen come back up, smokers are all around them. Deacon wants to know where Enola is. They say nothing. He gets fed up, fires his gun in the air, and acts like he has killed them both. Enola hears it, comes out of hiding. The smokers grab her right away. Deacon tells his men to finish off Mariner and Helen for real, but they slip into the water before anyone can get to them. Down below, Mariner holds Helen tight and lets her take air from his breathing slits, keeping her going until the smokers clear out. When they surface, the boat is gone, smashed to pieces. They have nothing. Helen asks Mariner why he turned her down before. He looks at her and says simply, "Because you didn't like me then." That hits her in a way she did not expect. She moves close and kisses him. That night, they hold each other. Come morning, while Mariner tries to put something together from the wreck, they spot Gregor coming toward them in his hot air balloon. He brings them up and carries them to the other people who got away from the atoll. That night they talk about going after dry land, but the others are too afraid to face the smokers again. Mariner does not wait for anyone else to decide. He is going to get Enola back on his own. He gets to the big smoker ship without making a sound, gets on board without being spotted, and quietly takes care of the guards one at a time. Inside, Deacon is busy lying to everyone around him, saying he has worked out the path to dry land. He gets the whole crew pulling on the oars, sending the ship moving. Mariner finds Deacon and tells him to give Enola back. Deacon says no. Mariner takes out a small flame and holds it right above the part of the ship where all the oil is stored. He says he will drop it and burn the whole thing to nothing. Deacon thinks he is bluffing. Mariner opens his hand. The whole ship shakes with the size of the explosion. Deacon grabs Enola and makes a run for a small plane. Mariner shoots his spear gun, catches himself on a metal rail, and comes sliding down at full speed. He throws up a wall of metal right in front of the plane. It goes down hard. Enola is scared but fine. She runs to Mariner and grabs him tight, but the ship is going under fast and there is nowhere to go. Right then, Helen, Gregor, and one of the atoll people drop in above them in the balloon. A rope comes down. Mariner and Enola grab it, but Deacon is still going, and he grabs the rope too and starts pulling himself up. Helen throws something hard at him. Enola kicks him with everything she has. He lets go and goes back down into the water. They make it up safely, but Deacon finds a jet ski, comes screaming after them and fires. Enola drops into the sea. Deacon sends his men right at her. Mariner does not stop to think. He ties a rope to his leg and jumps off the balloon. He falls fast, grabs Enola just before the smokers get there. The jet skis run into each other and blow up. Mariner brings Enola back up to the balloon. They are safe. At last, Gregor looks hard at Enola's tattoo, and this time, he sees it. He knows the way. They travel in that direction for days. Then one morning, a bird flies past. And a little while after that, land. Real land. Solid ground. Green grass. Trees. Hills. They stand there and stare. not quite believing it is real. They get off the balloon and touch the ground for the first time in their lives. Some of them crying, some of them laughing, all of them running their hands through the soil. They walk around and find a small hut. Inside, 2 old skeletons. Enola's mom and dad. They never made it back out. But close by, they find a drawing that looks exactly like Enola's tattoo. Her parents sent her away on purpose, with the map on her skin, hoping she would bring other people here one day and give them a fresh start. But Mariner does not join in. He stands off to the side, looking out at the water. His face says everything. This is not where he belongs. The land feels strange under his feet. The sea is the only place that has ever felt like home to him. He tells them he has to go. Enola grabs him and cries, telling him to stay. He holds her close for a moment. Then he says goodbye. He gets back on what is left of his boat, and he heads out to sea alone. Helen and Enola stand on the edge of a cliff and watch him go, until the water takes him and he is gone. And with that, the movie ends.